So the TYM 4058 has a couple of issues that we're going to have taken care of. So we're going to take it to the shop and let them do a little bit of work on it. I'm going to show you what some of those issues are, and then we'll see what happens from there. So one of the issues that I'm having is with the steps. I know it's really hard to tell on camera, but these steps are starting, they kind of bend in a little bit. So this sets at a little bit of an angle here, and they're not straight up and down. So getting in and out of the tractor, the steps have a lot of give to them. I don't like that. Yes, I'm a big guy, and the steps are just not as strong as they should be. But I don't think I should be overweight for the steps. All right, don't roast me in the comments for that. So a couple other issues that we're going through is that's the only thing on the outside here. But we're going to take it down to the shop, and we're going to be have them work on the clutch. We're going to see if they can adjust the grabbiness out of that clutch. It is mostly noticed in a lower gear, especially like if you lower a gear to load a trailer with hay or something like that, and you're using the clutch to kind of push it onto the trailer, or maybe line it up on the trailer and get it into place. If you're running that lower gear and trying to put the bell where you want it, in the lower gears where I notice most of that grabbiness. I call it grabby because what it does is it just kind of takes off instead of kind of easing into things. In a very low gear like first gear, you don't notice it. Let's say first low. Let me throw this thing into first low and kind of give it. This is extremely hard to show you on camera. It takes off real slow, but at the same time, it just all of a sudden goes. If I go from first gear to fourth gear, which I just did, and I'm still in low, we still have the same kind of issue, but it's a little more aggressive there. If I go to medium, which I just put the tractor in medium, and I take off in first gear, it seems less aggressive, but it's still there. So I'm easing off the clutch, but it just takes off again. Now I'm going to go to 4 medium, and that's a much higher gear, and you don't notice it. You do not notice it near as much because I'm actually able to feather that, and that's weird to me that I can do that in the fourth gear. Anything in high gear is going to be the same way. But like I said, I'm in fourth gear medium right now. And let me tell you where I'm at. I'm only at 1300 RPM, so I'm going to take it up to 15. That's 1500 RPM right there. And as I take off, it's not. I can kind of take off kind of slow. But when I go to first gear and even a medium, there it is. You just kind of. I'm trying to feather out and I can't do it. And I don't mean feather out where I'm going up and down like this. That's not what I mean. I mean gradually coming up, and then it just all of a sudden it takes off. It's like there's this one spot. There's this one spot in there. As you're coming off the clutch, you feel it start to engage, and then it just engages. That's not right. I'm not doing a comparison between tractors, but my LS does not do that. Okay, I'm not here to do that. See that just takes off. I'm in first gear. I'm in first gear medium, and I'm getting ready to put this on a trailer. So there it is. It just takes off. I don't like that at all. Like I said, where you really notice it is when you're loading hay bales on a trailer. You don't notice it when you're moving things around. I mean, you don't really pay attention to it. You're using the power shuttle. None of that stuff comes into play because I have an adjustment with my power shuttle. I have an adjustment for the clutch on the LS. I wish this tractor had that type of adjustment. That way you can turn that aggressiveness down, and that's what this feels like. It's very aggressive. Now, like I said, a higher gear, it doesn't quite jump. It doesn't jump like that. but a lower gear, it jumps. And I don't know why it does that. I've never owned any tractor or been in any tractor other than the TYM 115 that does that. Now the TYM 115 does that in high first gear when you're trying to take off and get on the road. My son kind of demonstrates that on one of the videos that we put out about the TYM 115. So we had the same problem with the 115 that we were uh, demoing, and the clutch on it was extremely grabby. Now I've heard everything uh, from that this can be adjusted out, but I've also heard that this is a common issue in these tractors. I've heard there's nothing they can do about it, but it does it quite often. When you're letting out on the clutch, it will just jump and take off. That is not a good trait in a tractor. That is just not. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care, because it's not a good trait in the tractor. Anyone that's have any tractor experience will tell you that. You don't want that clutch grabbing. What if I got somebody behind me helping me hook up something, and that clutch just lets out all of a sudden, and I run over that person? Yeah, they're supposed to be standing to the side and all those kind of things, but there are situations where they're trying to help you get hooked up or line something up, and they kind of have to hold it a little bit. Look, that's part of it, and you don't want that to happen. But look, these clutches letting out like that, really just letting out, really just all of them, all of a sudden, that's a bad thing. That is a really bad thing. So if this cannot be adjusted out, we got a problem here, TYM. I'm just going to tell you that you can't have these clutches just letting go all of a sudden and just ramming into things. That's not the way it works. A lot of times I drop this down into a low gear, really low gear, just to back up into something. Now I usually hook up implements by myself, but I do get help every once in a while hooking something up, especially when we're trying to get something done. And there's a couple of us out working. Then we might help each other getting the implements hooked up. But being behind that tractor while you're helping hook up that implement and that clutch releases, that's dangerous. So something strange happened. I've never seen this before, and I've never had a tractor that was less than, you know, a year old. Never had a tractor do this before. I've never had a car do this. I've never had any piece of equipment actually do this. Check this out. So the steering wheel has cracked right here and right here. There's a piece of steel that runs all the way around this steering wheel. And this is just a coating basically on it. But this coating has cracked, and it's cracked pretty deep. I mean, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it goes way down in there. I'm gonna try to get the camera up close, but it goes down in there. It's probably, I don't know, a quarter of an inch down in there before it hits the steel. But I've never had a steering wheel crack before. That's just interesting. Now the part for this has already come in. We ordered the steering wheel back in November, and the steering wheel came in, and this is February. So the steering wheel came in just recently. So it was ordered from, and this is just a close estimate. It was ordered from in November. So it had December, January, and February. It basically took 3 months to get the steering wheel. Now, it didn't affect the use of the tractor, but a lot of people have talked about TYM parts. I've had parts that came in for this tractor within a week. I've had parts come in for this tractor, and big parts like a radiator came in within a week, and that we had a leak on the radiator. And actually, while it was in the shop, they found that, and they ordered the radiator, and it was here in 1 week. But a steering wheel, it took 3 months, and that's a long time to get a part in. Um, yeah, good thing it's not keeping me down, because we've loaded a lot of hay with this tractor over the last couple of months. So I've seen a lot of people do this where they'll start their tractor right up. They'll get in it, they'll grab the key, and they just hit it. What I strongly suggest, and there's reasons behind it, let this all kind of clear out. Make sure that your lights are off over here, because I've got the heater on right now. Let that clear out, and then crank it up. one of the things that they're going to work on is miles per hour on this tractor. They apparently they have found what needs to be done. I think they in the past recently they didn't really know, since the tractor is kind of new. I don't think they knew how to change the miles per kilometers to miles per hour, and so now they have a fix for that, and they actually have a couple of fixes for that. I'm not going to go into detail on what that is. I do kind of know what it is. I don't understand it exactly because apparently there's one that has to be a computer that has to be done. They have to go into the computer, update the software and firmware and all that kind of stuff. On others, this same tractor, this is just from my understanding. So there's a wire switch, and they unplug a wire from the back, they plug it into another location. That's all I know about that. So I'm not going to go into details on all that stuff because I don't want to give you the wrong information. But that's what this is going into shop for. It's going in to have these things done. I've got steps to be worked on, miles per hour, kilometers to miles per hour, this cracked steering wheel, and then they're going to make an adjustment on the clutch. We're going to have all that done to this thing, and hopefully we can come back to you with some feedback on how that process went. So stick with us for that, but I got to get this loaded up on the trailer. All right, let me see if I can create some controversy, especially on the internet, especially on YouTube, and especially among a lot of people. I loaded the tractor forward. Now, is there a right way and a wrong way to load the tractor? Probably, but I load it forward for a reason. My reason is different than probably other people. One, I have a really hard time turning my neck but to look behind me, and it's really a problem for my joints. That sounds like a bad excuse, doesn't it? Until you can't see what you're doing and you back that tire off the edge of the trailer and then you're upside down laying on the ground. I would rather just tie my door shut so that in case they do blow open or they try to blow open, then at least it's just a glass. Okay, I know I don't want to break my glasses either, but at the same time, you have to realize that turning my neck and backing up, there's a potential that I might accidentally, me, might back that off the side of the trailer because I can't turn my head very well. It you young guys, you might probably can do it, but some of us older guys that have arthritis and other things are having some issues with that kind of stuff. I'm still out here doing this, and I don't stop. But at the same time, backed it on. I drive it on so that I can center it up on the trailer where it's supposed to be. I can see that. I have less problems backing it off than backing it on. I don't know why, but when I'm backing it off, for some reason, I don't have an issue. But when I'm backing it on, oh, I have a problem. I do center my back wheels up basically in between these two axles. I will have to put air in these tires because I see that they're a little bit low. That's distributing the weight on the trailer just about right because and this trailer right here and this truck is not going to have any issues pulling this anyways, but this puts enough weight over the axles, puts a little bit of weight on the truck. All that is just about where I need it. I won't have any problems, and because it is a gooseneck, you have less of those type of problems anyways. But you still want to load correctly. Now, if I had a shredder or something like that on the back, then I'm going to have to push this thing all the way to the front. The shredder's going to have to hang off a little bit on the back, and that's just the way it is. I think it's a 30-foot, 25-foot dovetail. So with the ramps, these are mega ramps, so they'll pop up, and the whole trailer is 30 feet long. But I still have to have everything in front of the dovetail in order to get the ramps back up. Now, now I am getting ready to tie it down, and I do lock my doors. It's kind of a deal where a long time ago I started just locking the doors. I close them, I lock them, and actually I've hauled it without ever um, tying the doors closed. And that's controversial, and I get it. And I don't blame you for saying, hey, You really need to strap your doors closed. You're right, you need to strap the doors closed. I will strap the doors closed today before I leave, because I really don't want the doors to blow open by chance. But I'll lock them so that the vibration and stuff doesn't have a tendency to somehow get the doors to unlock and open. The other thing about that is sometimes, especially on these tractors, the seals, when you close that door, there's a second click. And if you're not getting into that second click, that door's not all the way closed. And I think that's some of the people's problems. I don't know. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying anything. So don't roast me in the comments. All these YouTube experts. All right, I need to get this thing tied down and get this thing to the shop. Put the ramps up, get it tied down, tie the door shut. That's what's going to happen. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. And you probably get, everybody will have a conniption if you don't mention it. They're like, well, did you set your parking brake? Yes, I set my parking brake. And it's in first gear, and it's in low, and all those things. In Texas, this tractor is supposed to be tied down in 4 locations, and any implement that's on it is supposed to be tied down as well. And that actually includes the front end loader, which is kind of odd. A lot of times I'll just throw a strap across here, and that way it just gives me one extra piece of security. All right, I was able to get the back end tied down. We actually found the area here that we could get through on the drawbar and get it tied down. We look good. I don't normally like doing this. Normally I like to run the chain through here, but I only did this on the back. On the front, I did like this. This is the way I normally like to do it. Chain like this. And then we're hooked up on the front right there. And then we're buckled down pretty tight. Front end loader. This is just extra security in my opinion. This is a 5,000 pound strap, so it ain't going nowhere. And that's the way we're going to haul it, except for still got tight door shut. Hey, so we're back from the shop, and we've dropped the tractor off. They're going to take a look at it. They're going to do some work on it and fix the problems that I talked about. And we'll let you know how that goes, and we'll get back with you on that on the next video. But until the next one, thanks.